Linda Deer. Welcome to Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, a weekly gift of guidance on navigating the uncertain world you are now living in. Published every Tuesday since 2014. In this episode, the guides will be talking about the communication bridge to your spirit guide angels. So how do you know which one you want to be? Do you want to be a medium? Do you want to be a channel? Or do you want to be a psychic? It's really not up to you. It's a matter of finding your own way to know what resonates with you naturally. So a channel is what you do when you use Ask the Universal Channel to contact your guides and have a conversation with them. When you do work like this, I call this the personal development tool. The guides talk to you about present day situations, about your life, the way it is right now, what you're trying to understand, when you have a dream, what does it mean? Things like that. It's about learning to know who you are and trust what that is. And when you communicate with your spirit guide angels using Ask the Universal Channel, by the way, Ask the Universal Channel is a product that my spirit guides came to me in 1988, Christmas time, and asked me to create a talking board that did not cause fear and caution. And this is that talking board. It had its 30-year anniversary in 2019. And it's amazing what comes through this. This is how I do my coaching sessions. When I have a session with you, a personal session with you, and your guides come through and they talk to you about your present day situations. They're not sitting here telling you what the lottery numbers are going to be. They're not talking to you about your dead relative. They're talking about you. They're telling you where you stand in this evolution of communicating with your spirit guides and angels, this communication bridge that you have. And that's where they're talking to you from. And they're talking to you about your life as it is right now. And what you're right on the edge of learning about, what they've been trying to get through to you, but you've been missing it. Okay, that's where I come in and I explain to you how this works and what they're telling you, what's important, what you need to know right now, present day stuff. Mediums are people who channel deceased relatives, friends, family, whoever, okay, that you're interested in talking to. For some reason or another, you didn't finish business while they were still here. All right. So there's people who do that kind of work, and these people who have crossed over do occasionally come through and talk to you through Ask the Universal Channel. It does happen. I talk about it in my flagship book. When my mother-in-law came through, that I dearly love, and I didn't even know she crossed over. And she came through a session I was doing with a client and just started talking to me about, they will do that. They will break right through a session that seems to be out of context and definitely unexpected. So when they really need to talk to you, they will talk to you even without this. They will come to into your dreams. They will, you'll have a moment where you know it was them and you got the message they were sending you. You will know it. You will feel it. You will remember that's the way they used to speak with you. That's the work of a medium. It happens sporadically, but there's mediums who do this for a living, and you may or may not believe it when you hear it until you really get something that's proof that you know they're talking about somebody that crossed over, that you definitely identify with what they're telling you. All right. So that's a medium. And then there's a psychic. Psychics find missing people, They predict the future. I mean, they do stuff, you do stuff like that all the time. If you have a dream and it turned out to be prophetic, then that was a psychic moment. You had a moment where you were experiencing your psychic abilities. So psychics, I would say that psychics, they could be right. You could really critique a psychic and say, well, that didn't happen, or it didn't happen like that, or it didn't happen until, a year later. Well, if it's a prediction, it still happened. So, you could nitpick a psychic to death, pretty much. So it makes the work of a psychic nerve-wracking, harder to do. But when you have a psychic experience for yourself, without any pressure on you, it just shows up. It's like a bleed through. And you just connect with the information. It happens all the time, really. But if you don't write it down, if you don't write any of this stuff down, you will probably miss it. You will probably think, well, I kind of remember that, or, it's faint, it's a faint memory, or I kind of remember that dream, or, any one of these gifts or talents that you have an affinity for, that you're just naturally good at. You need to write these things down so that you can perfect your skills. So you're not running blind in this world. Because you guys, you have help all the time. Your spirit guides and angels, they're with you all the time, communicating with you, but they never shout at you. You have to want the information. In fact, it's best when you ask for them to come through to help you. When you do that, write it in your journal. Write down what you're asking for. So when their guidance comes through, whether it's through psychic abilities, whether it's through mediumship, somebody came through from the other side that you used to know, and they came through with that information like a messenger. Or if it was just, you were working with your guides and you were channeling them deliberately, and they told you things that you were maybe never knew. Maybe no one ever told you what they told you, but everybody else knew about it once you brought it to their attention, that you knew that happened. Then if you tell them how you got the information, that's where the problem usually begins. So the guides always say, keep your guidance to yourself. That would be if it came through you psychically, it came through you, to you, through somebody who crossed over, that'd be mediumship, to give you a message, to give you a warning, to tell you how proud they are of you, that you're on the right track. You'll get that. You do get those messages, but you're missing them because you're not writing them down yet. Or if you're just channeling your guides and they tell you things, this is the most active way to perform on that communication bridge to your guides. It's a on command activity where you sit down and you breathe and you let it come through you. You don't ask it to come through. You don't demand it. You don't sit there going, waiting for it. It may not come through right now. They may not be talking to you right now. They may need you to ponder the question you asked a little bit longer. So you really get the essence of what you asked. Sometimes we ask things that are kind of haphazard and they're not well thought out. That's not good. You need to think them out. You need to write them out, which ensures that you did think them out, thought them out well. So your guides understand what you want to know. Okay. And then you can channel your guides. In fact, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to close the session with their closing message about what I talked to you about today, their input. And here they go. Why? Yes, you channel us all the time. Open your mind to receive our communication. We are always talking to you. You have been wondering, was that guidance? Is my imagination running wild? Am I special? Yes, you are. But you must believe it. Or you will continue to miss what we are sending you. At any time, be ready to receive our messages. We have been waiting. You must be ready. Are you ready? Are you ready to have this conversation with your guides, to build this communication bridge to your spirit guides and angels? If you haven't read my book yet, my flagship book, Guided, the story of how I did this throughout my life, you want to start here with Guided. Then you want to get these companion journals to Guided that I wrote specifically to teach you, to help you learn what Guided teaches. So you can make this connection. That's the whole point to this. Make the connection to your spirit guides and angels and get that free advice, that unbiased information, just when you need it, every time you need it. So you know what to do and when to do it. You're not alone, and you are always being guided. So remember to ask for their help and write it down. The rest will take care of itself.